Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Ask Dr. John episode. This is a video conversation series that I get to have with my dad, Dr. John F. Leeke, about his new book, his first book, y'all. American Change Agent, a life and legacy of seeking diversity, equality, and inclusion, all about his life. So, Dr. John, how are you today?
Well, I tell you, I'm really good today. It's a nice day out as I have the opportunity to look out and see the sun shining and a fairly blue sky because we've had a couple of days of rain. Uh, and I started out. I've had a good morning, and I'm ready to have this conversation. So let's go.
All right, everybody, you heard him. He's ready. So, today we're focused on our family's African ancestry. And before we even get started, I want to give a big shout out to Gina Page and her team at African Ancestry. And if you've not heard about African Ancestry, Google them. They're a DC based company that's been around for years now, and we use their amazing services to determine where my dad's maternal and paternal DNA test results came from in the continent. And let me tell you, we did this test a couple years ago, and it was actually at the height of COVID. And we found that the maternal DNA matched with the people called the Yorubas, the Yoruba people of Nigeria, Benin, and Togo. And it was a 98.9% match. Did you hear me? 98.9. So, hey, giving a big shout out to the Roberts family, the Thomas family, the Daniels, the Weir, and the Osborne families that their blood runs through my dad's body, mine, my brothers, and a whole host of cousins and uncles and aunts that are still walking the planet. So, the paternal side of our family, the Leeks and the Joneses, those are the main ones. We learned that their DNA that lives in all of us was a 99.4% match to the Akan people. The Akan people live in Ghana as well as the Ivory Coast. So, when you learned that, Dr. John, how did you feel? What came up for you?
Well, let me first say I was shocked and I yeah, was surprised. A lot of time we talk about, oh, my roots are in Africa. We don't really know that. But then once that we took the African test uh,
Mm-hmm.
and those results came back and they were so high. I mean, 98 and 99 point something. It was just, I just used the word incredible. And so I felt really great about it. And in addition to that, particularly on the Nigerian side and the Yoruba people,
Mm-hmm.
because there is a close connection for me with a Yoruba family that belonged to the church that I belong to, which is St. Joseph in Largo. And for almost, oh, I think a little over 30 years, my family has been connected in so many ways. Uh, John, the patriarch of the family, when he came to the United States and began his move toward citizenship, he asked my mother, wife, excuse me, my wife to stand for him in his citizenship, of which she did. And then later, his wife, Basse, came, and both of us stood for her.
Yeah. And
And
this was, and let's just say that this is the Adelie family at St.
yes,
Joseph's Catholic Church.
right.
Yeah.
And so uh, they began their family, and the first member of the family, John or Shoppy, uh, we were his godparents, and and then a couple years later, they had a daughter. Uh, she came, and her name is Shia, and we were her godparents. Now, their third child came, and uh, they had he had a different set of godparents, but because we were so involved and did so many things with the whole family, it wasn't long before David just kind of said, "I'm also a godchild of the Leaks," and we've operated that way, and it's just been a wonderful thing. And then fairly recently, Shia got married, and at the wedding and the different aspects of the ceremony, um, I met up with the parents of Alexandra, the husband of Shia, and we and John and Basse and the mother and father, all we just it was just like it was any other kind of family relationship and connection, and it has been a wonderful experience. That's all I can say. It's made me feel good, and as I once said to John, this was preordained.
Hmm.
Uh, I That's all I can say is it, because of the way it happens, there is something in the universe
Hmm.
that has us connected.
Yes, I
Yeah.
totally agree. I totally agree. I um I think it's really beautiful that we have confirmation um of where we're from, and that it confirms what I've always felt in my heart and in my spirit in terms of my connection to the Akan people in Ghana and the Yoruba people in Nigeria. And I often wondered why I felt so connected to both groups. And it was, I thought at first it was a spiritual, which it is, a spiritual connection to the Orisha in the Yoruba religion of Ifa that passed through my art, that I was introduced through my art, my writing, my sculptures, my paintings, and so on. And then the Akan people, one of the first places that I visited in the 90s was Ghana. And I always wanted to visit because of Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois, who played a major role in your life. And
Yes.
anybody who's listening, when you read the book, you'll learn why. And so, having had an opportunity to go to Ghana twice and to spend time with a family there and to go to Cape Coast and to go to the slave castles and to really have an opportunity to make a trip back through the door of no return, to have one individual from the family line to come back to honor the journey that all those who had to go through the Mayafa, we call that the African Holocaust, those that were able to survive and that made it to America so that we could breathe and be here and free today. That was my way of just saying thank you and understanding all of what they had gone through as much as I could possibly do. So finding the confirmation, having the confirmation just was, it sent me over the moon. It was just a wonderful experience. And so we're going to stop right here because we don't want to give everything away. You know, we are doing this video series for a couple of reasons. One, we want to introduce you to my dad's life and his work and our family. We also want to encourage you to look at your own ancestry. We've been fortunate to use African Ancestry that was founded by Gina Page, and we've also used Ancestry.com. And we'll share in another video about what we learned from Ancestry.com. We want to give a shout out to our cousin, Ellen Cook, who really took a deep dive in the 90s and continues throughout all of these different decades to serve as our own family genealogist in many ways. Ellen has taken trips to different places. She has done the painstaking research and helped a lot of us pinpoint where we're from, find folks that we never even thought of from her efforts. We want to encourage you to use the tools that are out there, the internet, the different places in different counties and cities and states where you can go, the National Archives, where you can do the research to find out more about your people. We have a thing in DC and in other cities. People often ask, where are you from? Where are your people from? Well, we're happy to say we know as far back as we can go right now, we know where our people are from. And we're very, very grateful. We want to encourage you to do the same. The other reason we're doing these video series is because we want to encourage you to tell your stories about your family to each other, and take it a step further and write it down. You don't have to do it like we did, but write it down so that people know. 20 pages. That's what I often tell people. Just take 5 pages or one page at a time and tell the story. Let people know, because those ancestors, they live and breathe in us. So I'm going
And
to wrap it up with that. Do you have anything you want to say before we go?
yeah, yeah, I just also wanted to piggyback on what you were saying, Ananda, in that it is really very important to share this kind of information, particularly for the future generations, so that they will have this. When I think about the generations to come of my folks, uh, and that's both sides. My side, Teresa's side, that gets to the different families and all. For I, I feel so good about the fact that my cousins, that's the Roberts side, um, they now have an opportunity to know what I now know about my roots, because my roots are their roots. So
Mhm.
I just encourage you, uh, do it. You will be surprised at what you find out, and the kind of feeling that you will get from doing that.
All right, everybody. If you'd like to know more about American Change Agent, A Life and Legacy of Seeking Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion, go to anandaleek.com/Dr. John. The book is available on all platforms where you buy books. So we encourage you to make the purchase. Let us know what you think. And if you've got other questions, hey, tap in, let us know, leave a comment wherever you find this video. We'd love to know what you're thinking and what you're feeling and your experiences.
And
Until
I would
next
also
time.
say to you, I really appreciate the numbers of you who have taken the opportunity to view the first set of conversations we've had. And I've enjoyed also receiving some responses, some comments from you. So thank you.
All right. So now we're definitely going to get out of here and move to the next one because we are done. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.